Hello and
Hello.
welcome to another episode of the Nostalgic Garden podcast. Today we are joined by a very special guest,
Very exciting.
Meital.
Yay.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here
Oh,
in your lovely podcast.
thank you. Maytel's thinking, what on earth have I let myself into? These mad English people, because
Yeah.
very exotically, because we're normally just very focused literally on our doorstep,
Yeah.
aren't we, at home? But we've gone international.
Yay!
This one.
Yeah.
Where are you based? Is it California?
Yes. So it's a lovely town. It's called the Wine Country. It's
Oh.
north to San Diego.
Lovely.
It's very green and lovely here. Mostly sunny. Most of the year it's sunny, and it's really look like Tuscany in like the wine country area.
I want to
Lovely.
Let's do a swap. We'll come and stay with you one time.
Yeah.
No,
Come, you're welcome
Oh,
anytime.
thank you. I'm inviting myself. And you would be most welcome to come to the UK and come and stay with us.
Thank you.
Well, how wonderful. So
Oh.
we first fell in love with Meital at the summit. We did the summit together.
Yes, we
didn't
did the hobby school. I can't remember the full name now. What was it? The
Express yourself. It was about expressing yourself.
Art of expression.
Hey!
Thank you. Thank you so
Very
much.
organized.
Yes. Yes, so we were both speakers on the summit,
Yes.
and we saw Maytal's work, and we said, "Oh my goodness,
We just fell in love with it.
we
because
did."
We could. I could
Thank you.
similar to watercolor,
Yeah.
but with a twist, which is really exciting.
Well, we haven't even told the listeners what
Yeah.
Maytal's beautiful work is.
Should we let her?
Yeah, would you mind?
Sure. So I paint with coffee, just coffee and water, and similar techniques to watercolors. And I started by painting with watercolors, and I heard about coffee art, and I just had to try it because I love coffee. I drink a lot of coffee, actually. We have 4 kids, so I'm tired all the time.
It's needed.
And-
It's necessary.
Hats off to you just for that, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just get hooked. You know, it's this simple, earthy material. You don't need much preparation or a fancy color palette, although I have those too. Just coffee and water and your imagination,
Fantastic.
and you create everything from nothing, actually.
Amazing. Isn't that great? What I wondered if you first got into it, if like me, you dipped your brush in coffee by accident. And then
Too many times.
Really?
I've done it with red wine as well.
Ooh.
Oh.
With red
Yeah.
wine, actually.
Exactly. Maybe
Yeah,
too
funny.
much red wine. Maybe
Yeah.
that was the problem. But in California, they do make such amazing wine, don't they?
Oh.
So coffee, does it come in lots of different colors? I mean, obviously it's coffee colors, but are there darker and lighter shades that you can work with?
So I got used to work with one espresso cup, with one coffee, and I just decide if I want lighter tones. So I dilute it with more water.
Yeah.
And if I don't want darker tones, I just do many layers on top of each other until I get the really dark, even black tones. Yeah.
Wow,
So it's
amazing.
almost got that kind of slightly nostalgic sepia feel to it as well,
Mhm.
which is lovely. It gives-
Yes. I love the vintage look. After you finish any painting, it gets like a nostalgic, like an old photo.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
If I may say, perfect for this podcast, the
Yeah.
Nostalgic Garden
See what we did there.
podcast.
Very good.
I love
Very good.
it.
I missed that one completely. So well done. Yep.
So, one of the reasons why wonderful, talented Meital is here with us today is because in 1 week's time, we're very excited to be doing a collaboration together,
Yay! So
Yay.
which is
Mhm.
across the
exciting.
pond, international collaboration.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
absolutely. We're doing the Double the Fun Shell Art collaboration. So we'll talk in more detail at the end. But basically, if you're super eager, you can already right now visit the link in the description in the show notes, where you can see our website pages and get all the information on the fantastic collab. But as a very brief summary, basically, obviously, Mum paints in watercolor and Lovely Meital paints in coffee. So we have one shell sketch, and in the tutorial, which is a pre-recorded video, you can learn how to paint the shell both in watercolor and coffee and sort
Yay.
of compare the two techniques.
Double the fun.
Double the fun. You'll come away with 2 finished artworks, and it's totally free. You just have to sign up to our mailing lists.
Oh,
So yeah, very exciting.
I really enjoyed doing it, actually. It was really fun.
Good.
And I tried to work to quite a narrow colour palette with the
Yeah.
watercolours. So it's sort of comparable, but obviously not exactly the same. I did push the boat out, include a bit of bright orange with mine. So call me a daredevil.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I can't wait to see the comparison really between the two. I've really enjoyed doing my watercolor. And I haven't done it yet, but I'm gonna have a go at the coffee one as well.
Yeah.
It'll be really good fun.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
Same here. I just loved your tutorial at the summit. It was so
thank you.
easy to comprehend and easy to do, and it's like lovely. I love your work.
Oh,
Really.
and likewise as well. And you do courses as well, Meital, do you?
Yes, I do workshops. So each time it's like the shell collab that we're doing.
Yes.
It's just one painting and a short workshop. And I also have like the more in depth courses, like coffee painting from the sketch to the end result. So afterwards you can paint with coffee. Anything you want, actually. And another course of how to transform your original art into prints.
Ooh, that's useful, isn't it?
That's fun.
I get asked about that on social media sometimes, don't we? People are interested in that. I think that's something that will really resonate with people. And we do courses too. We do them in person at the school, and we do online courses. And in fact, where we're sat today, we're sort of in the school garden in the school, aren't we? In our own premises. So we do a weekly sheet every week. We put together some photos that we take from the garden. We talk about that often, don't we, on the podcast?
Yeah.
So this week's sheet, we're going to actually choose colours from the garden to colour up the shell.
Yeah.
So it's all going to be like a complete sort of cycle.
It's going to be shell. It's going to be a shell frenzy.
It's going to be a garden-inspired shell palette.
Yeah.
It made sense at the time.
It does.
It's all nature, though, isn't it? Nature puts the best colours together always.
Definitely.
And, it's a never-ending source of inspiration for sure. Yeah. So yeah, coffee. One of the things that interests me about painting with coffee is it feels almost, we were talking about how it can look a bit sepia and a bit vintagey, and I love that about it, but it feels a bit as well about like going back to the original roots of watercolor painting, because before we got into being able to make colors chemically, there was a heavy reliance on nature, and there still is, colors like sepia and umber and very earthy tones. And I love the fact that we're still using those very traditional ways of making watercolor paint. But of course, through history, the chemical processes evolved, and I love using brighter colors, so you can't knock them.
No.
But there is something really wholesome about just sort of going back almost to what cavemen were doing.
Yep.
To the start of everything was just sticking a hand in soil, effectively. Or coffee, who knows? Maybe they had coffee. And just sort of the mark, and I think, like you said, there's something lovely about the simplicity of that, I think.
Yeah. The just the earthy tones. It's like painting with mud, or just hand painting like kids,
Yeah.
you know, in kindergarten. So yeah.
It's lovely. I know Daniel Smith, who I think is an American brand. I don't know for sure, but it's a very good brand of watercolor. He's got a range of paints which are made with gemstones.
The mineral marvels, I believe
Yes,
it's
you
called.
can get like a color chart, which is the
Mhm.
mineral marvels, and he groups together all the paints that are from pure minerals. And many of them are sort of like crystals, like amethyst, for instance, which has kind of very strong spiritual properties. And that I'm really interested in as well. The idea that you could give someone, because I think I'm right in saying amethyst is calming, for instance, and we could all do with a bit of that in our
We
lives.
certainly could.
So there's something appealing about sort of painting with amethyst, giving someone a,
Mhm.
It's quite beautiful, isn't
maybe
it?
someone who needs to calm down, which is probably he's like the most passive aggressive. Yeah, have an amethyst painting.
You could
need
use
to calm
it.
down.
I knew where you were
I
going.
meant that in the most loving way
I could
possible.
see where you were going with that
I
one.
had this vision, so maybe he wasn't very well,
Or
and they were a bit
a
upset.
stressed out job, and you were just trying to give them a
Calm
nice
down.
message. In an argument, you could just whip out the amethyst painting. You need to calm down.
We're getting overexcited. Calm down. I think I need some amethyst.
I think we do. We're too excited today.
We are. It's so nice to have the podcast, isn't
It's
it?
so lovely.
Normally just me and you trying to remember what we talked about
I know.
last time so we don't repeat ourselves. But yeah, amazing.
Definitely. So, if I may change the subject real quick, Meital, can I ask you how do you find what are the effects that you find painting with coffee has on your life?
So I usually like no, not many people knows this because usually people imagine artists, they are in their studio, they wake up in the morning, they're going to paint until midnight and go to sleep. But the reality behind it is it's a lot of marketing, a lot of like behind the scenes. And as I can see it, painting kind of pushed to the side and not, I don't have much time to do work on my paintings. Last year was even worse. I painted only in art shows, and between art shows, I didn't have much time to paint. So sometimes all the marketing, all the noise around it become so overwhelming that I just need to stop. You know, I take myself in my hands and I say, okay, this is too much for me to handle now. I have to take a break and start a new painting. And then it's kind of like shifted your mind, you know, it's like a meditative state. You're just in your painting, you're like focusing in what brush to take, where to dip it. And it's kind of like a relaxation inside the all like in the middle of all the chaos. And it's kind of like going back to who I am inside and why I started all of this. And so this is like my method, let's say, to relax and not thinking about all the you know the other work. This and going outside to my yard. So backyard is like my heaven with a cup of coffee and just look at the sky. There are so many beautiful butterflies here and birds and other animals that actually give me inspiration to my paintings. So I have bees here. Actually, we had a huge hive on the roof of my studio. We didn't know about it for a year until it got really crazy. Yes, so I have a painting about bees too. And we had an egret just landing in the backyard.
Wow.
So noble and elegant. So I had to also paint an egret in one of my paintings. We have lots of hawks and falcons and night owls around here. So it's kind of like living inside a tiny zoo, let's say. We had raccoons, of course, and ducks and geese in the sky. So it's a really, really lovely place, and like
Beautiful.
nature, all my like um, uh, nature inspiration, let's say, in my paintings.
So relate to that. I think we're exactly the same. We have different wildlife.
We do.
I mean, some of it's the same, and of course, raccoon for you is a very exotic beast to us. We don't have those. We have badgers, I think.
I was thinking
instead.
badgers, literally. Yeah.
Probably does the same ecological job, doesn't it? But I so relate to what you're saying on many levels. The calming and relaxing part of painting, absolutely. 100% getting lost in your own world, 1,000,000%. And I really feel that I'm sort of connecting back to my inner child. And that's something I talk a lot about when I'm teaching. And it's that it's very naive, innocent state where you don't have to worry about all the adult sort of stresses and strains of life. And you're just mucking about with paint, aren't you? And experimenting, exploring. That's something that I never want to lose. And I've definitely found I'm so blessed and so lucky that I work with my daughter.
Oh, thank you.
Because she does all the marketing. So
not all right. Mum certainly helps.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm extremely.
You're doing a great job, Emma.
Oh, thank you. And likewise.
Yeah, you are. You are very organized and amazing. But you don't. Both of you are actually. And so I definitely relate to that. That calm that you talk about, and almost the mindfulness practice of just mark making and being in the moment, which is good for the art and good for the artist, I think, in that sense. The other thing I really sort of resonate with that you're talking about is almost getting the balance right. And I feel that one never does because it's dynamic and moving all the time, but getting the balance right between being an artist and then selling your art and the marketing business side of it. Because because I'm actually used to work in retail, I worked in really big sort of blue chip corporate environments. So if I'm not careful, I lapse back into that mindset, and I find myself thinking, oh, I wonder what do people more like to buy paintings with, trees or flowers? And you can almost find, if you're not careful, well, I find if I'm not careful, the marketing can start to take over and you can start to paint what you think is going to sell. And I never want to do that. I want to paint what makes me happy and what I want to say.
Exactly. I feel the same. Yeah. I do commissions, when people ask me to paint, their family members or their pets, but it's like not what I want to do. I don't want to paint like what people would love. I would like to paint what makes me happy, as you said. And if people love it, I'm happy, Not all the people love it. I really encounter several art collectors in shows, that were like, let's say in a nice language, didn't like my snail on the forehead painting. So, and they didn't, and they didn't were like hiding their revoking, feeling. So I don't mind. It makes me laugh. Not everyone love my art, and that's okay. Each one of us has different tastes.
Very true. Were they sort of put off by the coffee angle, or was it what did they articulate why they had that response to your work?
No, it was the specific painting. I have I love all animals. And when I walk my dogs outside, I see squirrels and bunnies, and I also see snails. And not
they
once I not once I stopped and took a really long video of a snail, in a winter day, and people are walking down the street with their cars and like, what is she doing?
I love that.
But
Snails need
snails,
more
they are
love.
beautiful.
They need love.
Everything is beautiful in nature, but
exactly.
I think when fundraising happens for charities, it's much easier to raise money for fluffy, furry, cute-looking things, But actually, nature requires everything has a place, and it's not just the cutesy things.
No, it's true.
that we need to protect, is it? It's everything. So I'm with you on the snail. I love a snail, and as long as they don't eat too many of my lettuces. I slightly draw the line there, but I'm willing to sacrifice the odd lettuce for a beautiful.
Yeah.
And I've definitely done watercolor paintings of snails as well. I've just done a commission that I can't really talk about much yet, which is sort of making it sound probably a lot more exciting than it is.
Briefly
have we? I can't remember what I'm allowed to say, but are we allowed to say it's an advent calendar?
Yes.
Damn, I did anyway. So I've done
not who it's for.
Okay, great.
I think.
And anyway, that includes animals. And what I've done is sort of made them like little people and given them, clothes or
personality.
Little personality. Yeah. Yes, so that includes a snail as well. Snails can have attitude.
100%. We've all come across a sassy snail at one point or another.
Well, not just a shell that we're doing for the.
You know what? I thought the same thing actually. Yeah, similar colours, similar patterns on them.
It's snaily.
Definitely.
Amazing.
Well, if I may quickly just pick up on something, Meital, which I thought you said, which was really lovely, is that you paint art, which you really love. And Mum, you said the exact same thing as well. And I think that's really wonderful because from my perspective, it makes sense that people, like when you find your niche, that art would do the best because like both of you mentioned, you are literally pouring your love and your inner child and your soul into that. So it kind of makes sense that when you're painting something you love versus trying to sort of please an audience, to me it makes sense that you would have more enjoyment painting what you love, and you would probably produce a better product because it's got more soul in it.
100%. And I absolutely think that's why I'm not worried about AI.
Yeah.
Because AI can do a lot of things, but it can't do a soul.
No.
I just think, there's a place for it. There's a place for everything. But in a way, I think the presence of so many AI images just makes what we do even more precious.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. Exactly. There will be always collectors for real art, real handmade.
Real art that
real
comes
art
from the heart.
OMG. We need t-shirts. I see it now. Caps. Mouse mats. Sorry, I was lapsed into my corporate mindset there.
Mugs.
Paint sets.
Socks.
Heart-shaped pillows. But no, definitely. And one of the things that I still ruminate over and still think about a lot when I was a student way back when, which was like in the 80s, long time ago, and I did a dissertation, and I wrote my dissertation rather anarchically about the distinction between art, design and craft, which is just something that fascinated me because I was a knitwear designer actually at college, which was sort of seen as a craft and therefore bottom of the heap. Because in the certainly in the UK anyway, and I don't know about the States, but at the time, certainly, and I think still today, there is this sort of hierarchy where you put art at the top because you can philosophize about it. And it comes from the heart, and it's historically, if we're honest, mostly done by men, or certainly the famous ones. And then design was slightly below art in the hierarchy because, it was sullied by industry and making money, which was important, but not as sort of important as philosophy. And then right at the bottom there was craft, which was mostly done by women for free. So it's like, that really interests, and that's a horrible simplification, but that whole sort of hierarchy really interested me. And I have two sisters who are both artists, and I was a designer all my life, and so I think that's probably where I had that chip on my shoulder because of that. But I've always been really interested in that distinction because I love using pattern in my art, which is normally something that one associates with design. But I would say, having reflected on it, I'm in my 60th year, I think you do put more heart into art. I really think
another shirt.
it's the same one as before.
Oh, is it? Oh, there's my fantastic memory.
I'm just working on a one-liner.
I love it.
But I think, and whereas with design, I don't think you put that love and care into it because it's not coming from, it's not your unique point of view.
You've got almost less to say, and that's coming from me. And I actually really enjoy design.
Yeah, me too. I'm not.
Not that you. Yeah.
And I honestly, personally, I'm sort of being bitchy about this hierarchy thing because I see it in society. For myself, actually, I don't. I see art and design as the same.
Okay.
But it's just something, you know, even just with producing an artwork, if you're producing it as a design, there's a sort of ceiling as to how much you can charge for it. But if it's as art, suddenly the price sort of, you know, and it isn't just about making money, but it's an interesting gauge, isn't it, as to the value of things. So I find all of that quite interesting. I'm still working on that. And there are artists. I mean, I guess, you know, it's not an art history lesson, is it? But Andy Warhol was really challenging that in the 60s when he was doing his screen prints and of Campbell's soup using industrial methods to really challenge, you know, that distinction. But I do think it's still there a bit. But yeah,
it's an interesting one, isn't it?
It is. That whole, I don't know whether I'm an illustrator or an artist sort of thing, you know, I think I'm both. Depends what day you ask me, what I'm working at. Fun, but it's all watercolors, isn't it? The other thing I'm interested in with watercolor and your beautiful coffee art is what I only learned this because I was doing a bit of research about different paints and using coffee in natural mediums, organic mediums and things like that with painting. And I came across a term for something I've been doing for 5 years and I didn't know what it was called, which apparently is new watercolors. Or no, modern watercolors. I can't now, of course, I can't remember whether it's new or modern. I think it's modern. And what that is in modern watercolors, you're allowed to not just use watercolors, apparently, and it can still be called watercolors.
Oh my goodness.
Which is like ridiculous. But I think like old school watercolor, it had to be just pure watercolor and that was it.
Yeah.
And if you used inks or anything else, it's not, it's mixed media now.
Yeah.
But I think in modern watercolors, it's kind of okay. So because I've been messing around with inks a bit, haven't I? Acrylic inks and really enjoying that. Actually, they're quite fun to work with.
It reminds me that in art shows, they don't have like coffee category, you know, and when I need to sign up for an exhibition, I just pick watercolor because it's the most like resembling technique. But until they have coffee category,
I love it.
Yep. So I know that people like doing combinations. It's hard for them to just settle with brown, you know, so they do combinations of watercolor and coffee. And it's kind of like at the edge of my, like, I have to try it one time, you know, just to add one color maybe to the coffee painting. And every time I mention it to like ordinary people, not artists, and they said, no, you have to keep just like, this is what's unique about what you do. And you need to keep it just coffee, because
I can see that though.
Also other stuff, it's like, you know, it's out of your niche, let's say.
No, I understand that.
Well, I think we shouldn't perhaps put ourselves in categories, and maybe you'll do that in the future, and maybe you know, you'll invent some really original way of combining coffee with something else. That's the joy of art. You don't have to.
I know.
Yeah, but what I was wondering, and again, forgive my ignorance on this, because I love coffee as well, but I just know about drinking it. Making it, drinking it is kind of my repertoire. Yeah. In fact, we just had our coffee machine fixed today. It was very
Yay.
It was terrifying because I had no coffee machine and my life was barely worth living. Anyway, we're back online, so that's good. Well, I'm a bit overexcited, to be honest. Too
much coffee.
Too much coffee. What I was wondering, this might be a silly question, so forgive me if it is, but like, are there different blends? Because I know like you can get coffee that when you make the coffee, it's a lot darker. And I don't know, like Brazilian blend or Italian or French coffee might be lighter. And also you can get different roasts, can't you? Because presumably the more roasted the coffee is, the darker it gets, I would have thought.
Yeah.
And also the
Yeah.
but they're red, are they, when they're in their natural raw state? Whether you could paint with that as well, I don't know.
Yeah. So I was trying to let's say the secret, okay? So I
Oh,
only
It's an exclusive.
yeah, exclusive. This is just instant coffee.
Yay.
brilliant.
Okay, so I can roast all
Amazing.
kinds of like fancy espresso or Colombian beans, or and we have like now we have a fancy machine that greens the beans, and but it has a like grainy part
Yeah.
inside.
I can imagine.
So I can't I can like layer tons of like layers to make dark tones.
Yeah.
But each coffee, or if people ask me if it's a Turkish coffee, you know, but all the coffee that has grains inside, it's really hard and messy to paint with.
Makes perfect sense.
So
Yeah.
so you need like a creamy feeling of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
coffee in order it to act like watercolor.
Mhm.
And I can tell another secret here,
Oh, thank you.
which is why I love to paint with coffee so much. I love watercolors as well. They have like a whole different spiel on why I love watercolors. But the thing is, you can do with coffee, and it's hard to do with watercolor, is erasing mistakes.
Mm.
So watercolors, once they're on the paper, you can lift a bit of it, you know, but you'll still have a stain.
Yeah.
Maybe really light stain, but you still have a stain. You can like try and remove more and more color.
Yeah.
And with coffee, you just take a dump brush and you can erase mistakes.
Amazing.
So it's so like forgiving
Does that give you
comparing to watercolors.
Oh, sorry. Does that give you a problem when you're layering though? Does it start to lift the layer underneath when you're working with it if you were layering one over another?
I can still do the lifting,
Yes.
and I can, if I layer even like, I don't know, 40 layers of coffee,
Oh my
I
goodness.
can still dig inside, you know, with a lot of water and
Yeah.
get to the bottom.
How
So
great. Oh, I see the
yeah.
appeal.
I see the appeal.
You're winning me over.
Mum, should we rethink our strategy?
Yeah, let's get some coffee. That was fantastic. No, I like
Yeah,
that.
with
Yeah.
watercolor, you need to be really
Committed.
yeah, you need to plan ahead
Yeah.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
what's going to stay white, or use the masking fluid, or you know, you need to plan ahead every step, because the wrong step may result in a stain you didn't expected, you know, at the first place. So and I find like using only the white of the paper as like, some people see it as a limitation, but I see it, okay, this is my baseline.
Yeah.
And if I want to leave it white, I usually leave it white or using masking fluid, but I try to plan ahead, but I know that if I do a mistake, I can always correct it.
Yeah.
So it's like
Good.
I imagine that makes it really beginner friendly and quite welcome.
Yes, yes, definitely. This is why I love it so much, and I didn't hear about it before. You know, I did like an online course of watercolors actually, and one of the classes where it was coffee painting, and I thought like, this is a huge idea, and I never heard about this before. And now with social media, I found more coffee
Community.
artists all over the world,
Oh.
Yeah, and they have a really big community of coffee artists in the Philippines.
Hmm.
They grow the coffee there, so they
Wow.
have lots of farmers that grow the coffee, and they support their farmers with their coffee art.
Yeah.
So
So
Lovely, isn't it?
beautiful.
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
it's beautiful. And I see, like, I scroll through Instagram and I can see a specific style. Like, all of them are painting with coffee, but I can recognize each artist with his different style, although everything is
Mm.
brown, everything is
That's
coffee.
that human soul charm,
Exactly.
isn't
That's
it, we're
the
talking about?
putting the piece of yourself
Hmm.
into it. That's
That absolutely
beautiful.
proves it, though, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It's recognizable.
I
It's
love
so
that.
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely lovely.
We could, I'm just joking, but we could put you to the test. And now I'm
No.
joking, but we could do like a game show and say, who do you reckon this is? Just
For
think it'd
sure.
be fun to know. A good experiment.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
really
That
beautiful.
is
But
amazing.
I like that idea that you can rub everything
Yeah,
out.
me
That's
too.
very appealing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's one of the things. I occasionally do a bit of digital art as well. I might do a watercolor painting and put some mark making and scan it, bring it into the computer.
Mhm.
And it's not my favorite,
You
actually.
sort of clean up.
Maybe, yeah, a little bit sometimes, not all the time.
Yeah.
Less and less, actually.
Mm.
But one of the nice things about digital is you can undo it and go
Well,
backwards.
that's exactly. I got into a little bit of digital art in the pandemic, I think, and that was the thing which made me
Yeah.
think, "Yep, I want to try this. I can hit undo. Great."
But now you can copy.
There you go.
So
So
it's like,
yeah,
comes with undo.
I love
That's
it. Oh,
wonderful.
comes with undo. That'd be a great coffee art brand or
It
something. I
would.
don't know.
Would you ever do like coffee illustrations for coffee retailers? Or was that?
So I tried to contact several. It's part of the marketing program I have.
Yeah.
I did
It'd be
several
perfect.
collaborations with coffee shops, like around here, um, two coffee shops around here, and one in LA and one in Germany.
That's
Um,
the thing.
so yeah, it's fun because we have the same audience who loves coffee,
Mm.
Yeah.
and 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 the connection between coffee and art in a coffee shop, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's perfect. Yeah.
Oh,
That's so
perfect.
fun. Can
Yeah.
I ask, if you remember off the top of your head, what was that art like in subject, and what was it used for? Like, was it a picture of a coffee cup, and was it used for a poster? Like, can I just ask more about that commission you did?
Yeah, so there are many, like, restaurants and coffee shops maybe that presents like local artists art on their walls. So I had like this kind of collaboration that I put my art on their walls, yeah, mostly prints, not the original art. And one coffee shop, we did like an event out of it. I had several events, but this one was like to attract more audience into the coffee shop. So I was there all day painting with coffee, so people can come and ask questions. And I did like a little raffle. So each one that bought coffee got a ticket to the raffle. Um, and it was like really, really nice event. I did some of like this kind of events more locally than far away. But yeah, it was a really nice collaboration, and it's a win-win.
Beautiful.
It,
I
Yeah.
love that.
I'd love that.
Wow.
I'd like a mug with a beautiful coffee watercolor painting on
Oh,
it.
that would be
I'd
great.
love.
yeah.
Or how about even like the mug and then the inside of
I
the
was
mug?
thinking that,
Yeah, has a
but you
beautiful
discover a
coffee. Yeah.
surprise, and
Oh,
you don't know whether it's what you've just drunk or
exactly.
if it was
It's
printed
kind of
on.
like tea leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Ooh.
merchandising again.
I know.
Oh,
That
wonderful.
sounds so
Oh,
beautiful.
it
I
does.
absolutely love that. That just sounds very what comes to mind is Little House on the Prairie, which I think we very briefly mentioned on the
slightly
podcast
obsessed
before,
by, if we're honest.
which is America. So we're like,
if you're it's probably really naff.
It's probably like, oh, I've heard that one before, but
we love it though.
That just what you described just sounds really lovely and really small community.
Yeah.
It sort of reminds me of what you were saying about the Filipino artists working with their local farmers. I don't know, just there seems to be a very nice Little House on the Prairie vibe with coffee, doesn't there? It seems to be some sort of
Well, coffee does bring people together as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Quite a sociable drink.
That is true.
Which is nice. Yeah, because quite often art can be a bit lonely, can't it? It was sort of spend hours and hours. Secretly, I love it, but all alone in a studio painting, and it's very nice to have a more sociable element, isn't it? Where you can have a community and meet like-minded people. We're just on in a similar vein, not as beautiful as what you're doing, but we're launching a sketch club, aren't we?
Yeah.
And in fact, by the time the podcast goes out, it will be up and running.
It will. Unfortunately, this is an in-person sketch club event, so not all of our listeners will be able to.
No.
Meital, you're welcome to come, but you might need a plane.
And it's just
it sounds so exciting.
But that's a similar idea, really. We just thought it'd be nice to reach out to the local sketchy community, and just get people together. I now insist we serve coffee in your honor.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
we will recommend people do courses with you to learn how to paint.
Oh,
thank you. I think I'll be doing one of your courses as well.
Sounds amazing.
It does sound really good.
I'm intrigued.
And I think if you've perhaps already got those watercolor skills, I'm hoping it won't be too difficult just to learn to apply. I don't know, that might be very
It's easier. If you know watercolors, coffee, it's much easier.
There we go. Bit of light relief. I'm sure you're being very generous. I'm sure it's not easier, but it's kind of you to say.
So, just to change the subject a bit again, if I may, we were talking earlier about how gardening and art are forms of slowing down, and Meital, you beautifully put it as tangible magic. Can I ask for your thoughts on that?
Sure. So, I believe that I think I'm better at art than in gardening because I killed a few plants before. But when you plant a seed, let's say a tomato, and you need a lot of patience to wait and to give it everything it needs, the light, the water, nutrition, everything. And only after a while, you can see something comes out of the soil, and then you need to wait for it to grow a tomato, which is a long time. And also you need to protect it from insects or animals. So if I think about art the same way, you have the blank paper. So at first you're thinking about like, what should I paint? It might take you a while to find your inspiration, but when you have something on your mind, now you need to create something from nothing, exactly like with the tomato seeds. So you start by doing the sketch, and you correct here and there. And then you start part after part, building like your new painting. And sometimes there are like the wrong coffee spills on your paper, or the dirty water, or other interruptions that you need to stop in the middle and go do something else. And eventually, when you have your painting done, after a while, like you waited for the tomato to grow, you need to protect it so it won't like tear or gets dust, or all kinds of environmental things that can ruin your painting. So I think while you're waiting or while you're painting have a similarity of lots of patience And you can never know. Like, you can imagine how it will be at the end, or how good the tomato will taste in your mouth, but you can never know. It's like the unseen results. Sometimes it will surprise you, sometimes you'll be upset with the result. But it has so many similarities to gardening. Yeah, that's my feeling. I really adore, like, my mom used to garden a lot. She loved her garden, always flowers everywhere. And each season she would change the flowers, and everything was also so colorful. And as I mentioned, I'm not so good at gardening, especially when we have a puppy in the backyard and he's like digging all over the place and taking everything out of the ground. But yeah, I think painting is much
I
like
think that's
this.
absolutely
and very
gorgeous.
true, actually. That really
Yeah.
resonates. And I would add to that beautiful description. I think the other thing is both things are very honest. It's sort of, it is what it is. There's no
Cheating.
You can't gaslight it. You can't fake it. It just is what it is. And I love that. Gardening is literally down to earth. And it's one of the things I really enjoy about it is the more effort you put in, the more you get out. You can't, if you don't do all those beautiful steps that you described, then you won't get the result at the end that you hope for. And I agree with you, you don't know exactly. There's that wonderful element of chance, which is watercolor generally, I think, and I suspect also painting with coffee is when you do a wet on wet wash, you don't exactly know how, you have to kind of roll with the punches a little bit. It's controlled, but there's still that element of creativity, which I really enjoy, actually. And that's a really beautiful analogy, isn't
I
it?
absolutely love that. Ironically, that painted a picture
Yay!
in my brain. I don't know, it really reiterates that classic saying of it's about the journey and not the destination. Although I suppose with your beautiful explanation, it's almost about both. It's kind of about the journey of either the tomato growing or the artwork, the steps building.
Yeah.
And then also you get your lovely surprise at the end. So yeah, I think thank you for that. That was put really beautifully.
I think I would also add the other way I think they're very similar is in terms of design, back to that, because I'm a professional planting and garden designer and I teach planting design. And when we're doing that, there's three things we're really interested in, and that's color, shape, and texture. And it's exactly the same when you're painting. I know when I'm doing maybe a flower painting or a floral sort of scene, if I put something rounded near to something pointed and jagged, I'm going to get interesting contrasts. And it's exactly the same in planting, literally exactly the same. So that's interesting. So definitely, and that's why we're inspired by the garden for our weekly sheets.
Yes,
isn't it?
absolutely. And Meital even touched on that earlier towards the beginning of the podcast when you were saying you go out into your garden and you sort of get inspiration from nature, and that's why you paint your beautiful snail and your your birds and everything. And we talk about that so often because that's completely what happens with us.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and thank you for bringing that up. If people are interested to hear more about our weekly sheets, which we touched on earlier, you can see some info on that in the description and in the show notes.
I've got one big difference for you though, which is, and you may disagree with me, which is interesting.
I'm excited to hear this. What is the difference?
I like to be challenging.
You're going to throw a wrench in the works.
No, I'm not, because all of that is 100% true and it absolutely resonates with me big time. But one thing I sort of have been a professional garden designer and gardening for over 20 years. And painting more recently than that, so a few years, but it's not 20. Although I've done art all my life, literally since I was at college, but sort of seriously professionally painting for a few years. And one of the things that I've really enjoyed about the painting side is that you're creating something permanent. If you use the right inks, and I don't know about coffee, that would be an interesting thing to ask you. But I love the idea that you're creating an image, a painting, which can then be scanned, so it can also be digital, that's there forever potentially. It's kind of a legacy, isn't it? Whereas with a garden, one of the joys of it and I wouldn't change it for the world, is it's utterly dynamic. So I always say, you know, when you plant up a border, by the time you've turned your back on it and you've started walking back into the house, it's already different. You know, it's an ever-changing thing, which is the you know, the joy of the garden, particularly in England, because we have very distinct seasons. So, and I do enjoy those. You know, we sort of moan when it's the autumn.
I do. I've already mentioned in this podcast how I despise autumn.
But without autumn, can't have the spring that we
That's
have.
true.
You know, so I love the sort of cycles and everything. So
That's beautiful.
so that is one difference, perhaps.
A random similarity, not between that, between gardens and children, is that they're growing.
Yes.
I don't know why that made me think of when you were talking about art and like leaving your legacy. I don't know why that made me think of like children and leaving your legacy. So maybe there's a whole similarity between art, children, and gardens.
Well,
in a child
giving birth, because sometimes producing an artwork can feel a bit like giving birth.
do you feel that, Meital?
Yes, definitely. Like from the idea of it to the end results. Yeah, it's
all that pushing.
Yeah.
You've done it 4 times though, so you're much more of an expert. I've only done it twice.
Yes, definitely. But you enjoy the fruits, you enjoy the kids, you enjoy the arts. Yeah.
Absolutely. And is coffee permanent? Is it sort of what's it like in terms of like?
Yeah, so it's very permanent. After it gets dry, it's like water painting, you put it under a frame. I take more precautions in terms of fading or all kinds of stuff, although if it's in a dark place, it will never fade. Not dark, but not like in direct sunlight. But I usually spray it, all my paintings, I spray them with a fixative spray and then a double precautions. I seal it with wax.
Wow.
It's the same technique that people use for watercolors, which I learned over time. And then I put it under a frame. So it's completely sealed and protected.
That painting ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. I
love it.
Oh,
interesting. Thank you.
In the wax, can I ask you more about that? We should know that as watercolor artists, but
it's kind of it comes in a tiny jar, and you take like a paper towel and dip it in the wax and just go over your painting, and it gives it like a shell texture, you know, and it's completely sealed from moisture.
Wow. I think I can imagine seeing
another varnish,
a video of that.
Yeah, perfect.
Wow.
Excellent. And natural as well, because wax, of course, is another natural material, isn't it?
You're a natural girly, which I like.
We're nature girls, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Beautiful.
Well, it's so wonderful to speak with someone who's sort of, you know, so far away, thousands of miles away, to find we've got so much in common.
So much in common.
Yes.
Really lovely. It's really
beautiful.
good. And I've really enjoyed doing this collab.
Me too.
With the shell painting.
It's a pleasure. Yeah.
And I hope we can maybe work again in the future together, because you're a joy.
For sure.
Such a lovely lady. It's been.
Thank you. So you guys, girls.
Amazing.
Thank you. Well, before we go, I think Meital has a fantastic free gift for our audience.
Yes.
Would you like to speak on that?
Yeah, so it's the 8-step formula to spark your creativity. It has different ways how you can get inspiration, how you can organize your place. You don't need a fancy studio to paint. Just have a corner in your home and have the vibes that will cause you the energy to look for inspirations. And there is also lots of link inside this gift that are leading to royalty-free photos websites. So you can just scroll and get your inspirations your inspiration ideas for painting. So it's a really cool gift, and I give it to anyone that sign up for my list.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to have a little look at that.
Yeah,
That sounds fantastic.
And the link to that will be in the description and the show notes. So if anyone's interested,
go for it.
Then I certainly am. I'll be signing up. So just to remind everyone, starting next week, very exciting, on the 28th of August, we have our collab, which will go live. Yeah!
Yay!
So just a little bit about this collab, and I'll say straight away, if you want more details or to sign up, please visit the link in the description and in the show notes. But just as a very brief summary, it's about an hour, a little bit more than an hour, free tutorial video. In that, you will have handouts, and you'll learn watercolor techniques and coffee techniques, and you'll have access to this fantastic collab for 4 days, which is pretty cool. So if you subscribe to either of our mailing lists right now, you can get the free sketch in your inbox straight away, which is pretty exciting. And you'll receive email reminders about the upcoming collab. So
yeah. So the sketch is the shell.
The sketch is the shell.
It's going to get, so in the collab video, we're going to paint it twice, which is really exciting. Once with watercolors,
yes,
and once with coffee.
Thank you for reiterating.
I'm really excited about it. I think it's I've never seen that before.
No,
it was not our idea. I think it was your idea, Meital, and it's a very good one. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited as well to this collab class, and I think it's like, since it's free, just invite friends over and do it together. Do it with your kids. It's a really nice tutorial, and you can learn so much from it.
Sorry to talk over you. We kept it quite short, so if you're not sort of geared up for producing lots of artwork, you can do it in an evening. That's what we thought. It's just a fun, light exercise. And make something beautiful that you can give away. You could even include amethyst. If someone needs to calm down.
Definitely.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Brilliant.
Well, we better let this lovely lady go,
because we could keep chatting.
We could. I'm going to keep her talking till we've fixed up that visit in California.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Yeah.
My Californian poppies are blooming away at the moment, so I give you every time I see them. So brilliant. Thank you so much for your time and sharing all your amazing.
Thank you, you lovely ladies. It was really a pleasure.
Oh, well, likewise. They will send you lots of love across the pond, and see you in the collab video.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks
everyone. So much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.